Ah, awesome, that's working. Hi guys, just testing out this streaming thing. I'll play around with this today, and I haven't got any particular projects in mind. We'll see if anyone turns up. Right. Should we check, see what time of day it is for some places, shouldn't I? Oh, we've got people watching, awesome. Hey people. I'm just playing around live streaming. As you can see, hopefully the audio is okay. I've got my Go mic set up. And it's about a couple of feet away. As you can see, I've got the bench view as well going. I may work on something, I'm not sure yet. Okay, cool. Right, let's check out what time of day it is in various places in the US, since that's where my biggest audience is, and it looks like I've chosen a reasonable time. How convenient. So how you going? Any questions you got while I'm live? Anything? Got the chat thing going. 22:37 UK. Oh yeah, okay. Yep, cool. It's not a bad time of day to do this then, is it? It's 9:38 AM here right now. So I might remember that. Do live streams in the mornings. It should be should work out quite well worldwide. Looks of it. Yeah, cool. Hi Mike. How's it going? Yeah, 5:38. Oh yeah. This is a good time of day then, I have to remember that. I don't know how bad the latency is going to be on this. There is a bit of latency. I've got it set as low latency, so there should be buffering and stuff like that going on, but it shouldn't be too bad, hopefully. Hi Peter. Hey, cool, 14 watching now. Awesome. Now, I've got a couple of projects in mind. Whether I actually do them now or not, I don't know yet. It's something I'm playing around with. You know, live stream, who knows what could happen. But I've got my HP 4261A, which I've been working on a little bit. I haven't released any video on that yet. I've got, let's have a look, how many have I got there? It's about 70 clips of footage for that so far. In cars it's 15 degrees C. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's about the same temperature as here right now actually as well, because we're going into winter. How's the house? Yeah, it's slowly getting there. The painters are in there now. They're starting prepping and starting to paint. Once the painters are finished, then we get the floors done. Then we get the floors done. Then we can buy some things like washing machine and the bed and get back into the house slowly. We've still got to replace a sliding door which is broken by the builders. I've got about a week or so until that's been made, so I can't really do much properly until that's been put in anyway. 2:39 West Coast. Oh, yep, cool. About half a second delay. No, it's more than that, I think. From what I'm seeing on the live stream, hold on, let's just go like that, and I'll see how long it takes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. About 10-second delay. There you go. Yeah, painters here, so on a home stretch, definitely. Yeah, so things are progressing. The bathroom's not in yet. There's still no bathroom, so that's a bit of an interesting topic in itself. We've got it moved around, so you have to pay for the bathroom to be moved. Because you had the opportunity to improve the bathroom whilst it is gutted, so we did that. So that's cost us a bit extra money, but yeah, it's an opportunity to do it, so why not? So. yeah, it's all going well though. You know, the builders have been interesting. I've had to keep a close eye on the builders. They've been a bit rough, let's say that. I've had to told them off a few times about things they've been doing. Painters have been excellent. Really, they're actually Chinese. The guys that are in here doing this right now, they're Chinese painters, and which is not uncommon. There's lots of Chinese in this country now, and they're doing a really nice job. They're doing lots of careful preparation work and that sort of stuff. So that's all good. I suppose people aren't really interested too much in me talking about my house, but anyway, it's progressing. So anything project based, electronics based, you know, before everyone drops off and disappears because they're not talking about electronics, you know, on the electronics channel. Anything else there? Let's have a look. No. So yeah, so I've got the HP 4261A, which I've got a lot of footage for. I'm tempted to get that out actually. I'll play around with that right now on the stream, see if we can get any progress with it. I've also got a new toy. I can't remember if I've featured the Mailbag or not yet. I've got some Mailbag footage still sitting here. I'm not sure if I've done it yet. It's a Valhalla. Let's try and get the thing a shot. This beastie here weighs a ton, but not as much as the Fluke. Alright, does the same thing as the Fluke. So this mostly works. Not completely. It's got a few issues, which is good because that's what I want. I want to have issues so I can fix them, which is the purpose of buying the things in the first place. So anything above 300 volts or so, it starts to play up and actually goes to standby mode instead of staying powered. But the benefit of this one is it does 1200 volts. So, whereas the Fluke will only do 111 volts or something like that. So because it doesn't have the secondary unit, which is even bigger than the main unit. It's incredible. So the Fluke, although when I purchased it, it looked quite interesting. It's been a good project, but it's not finished yet. And I've actually got some footage queued up on YouTube right now, which I'll be releasing in a few days, I think. So yeah, so part 18. So yeah, it's going along. Other projects I've got going on. I've got some other things to do, which you would have seen in the Mailbag. I've got to play around with this yet. Get on this camera here. There we go. Try and get it right around. This little beastie here. Say, what's it? 6181B. Is that right? Yep. DC current source. I haven't played around with this yet. It doesn't have the right plug on it at the moment. It's got a US plug. I think it's US plug. Yeah. And I need to change that. So I do actually have a plug now. So I haven't even powered this thing up yet. So I've got no idea if it even works. But that will be, obviously I've got to test it and things like that. But if it doesn't work, then that's another video for you. Playing with the Maxim Max 9814 microphone amp. Okay. How's that working out, Mike? That working out alright? I did find some little Chinese units which I used. The original mic I was using for doing the screenshot capture on here, I picked up a little Chinese bass mic, this little thing about this big, and I don't know what it is actually right now. I actually modified that with a little electric mic amplifier. This little circuit board is about that big, tiny little thing, and I managed to put that into the base of the mic, and that made a big difference to the quality of it. And that board was like $2 something from AliExpress. It wasn't much at all, and it actually made a nice difference. So I've got a few of those. I've got a few different versions as well. Hi, local Horst. Is that local Horst? Is that? Must be. Anyway. Yeah, it's a bit tricky with the delay, you know, trying to do the live chat, and because I've got two screens set up. I've got my screen up the top there, which has got my YouTube channel running right now with this chat saying it, so I'm looking up there. And I've got the live stream one right in front of me, so I can actually see what's going on with it, make sure it's okay. Do I have any other projects I can work on right now? I've got something else here. Where is that? I've got another thing. I've lost some. Hold on. Where's that gone? I think I showed this one. Yeah, I will show you that. It's alright. It's a little power analyzer thing. I did it in Mailbag, and I covered it quite well in there. It seems to be working okay, so that's not actually going to end up being one. Okay, making a replacement for the first mic amp. Oh yeah, controllable gain. Interesting. I've seen your recent stuff with the president getting a foot in there. It's quite good, pretty cool. Getting their radios from. That's awesome little arrangement you got there. Problem being where I am, it's a bit isolated, so I don't get the chance to see those kinds of things. You know, those kinds of those deals where you can get those items as given to you because it's not so readily available over here. So I was going to ask you about those actually, but yeah, that's cool. There's no point in me doing them because I'm just too far away, really. But it's good on you for doing those and putting those things apart and analysing them. It's pretty cool. They're all using very similar designs these days, aren't they? Those radios are very similar. And I have to say, I mean, service mount's got its benefits, but not having adjustments, I don't like that, eh? If you get a bad part, it's really hard to trace that. You know, if you get an inductor goes off value or something like that, it bothers me, but hey, that's the way things are these days. And yes, cheaper, certainly. Oh, here. Hi, Ian. How's it going? Awesome. Those voltage references that you make, Ian, I was still very tempted to get one of those from you, you know. Very tempted. I was very impressed by that when you sent that in to Dave. That's pretty cool. The only thing that's put me off is the price and how much I'll actually use it. So that's the only problem, eh? But plus I've got the Fluke 343A, which I repaired what, a year ago now. Must be close to that. So that sort of negates a bit of that need, I suppose. Oh, I've got a message. Hold on a second. Out in case it's important. Hold on a second. Probably being live, isn't it? Eh? What's this about? Oh, yeah, I'll sort this out later. It's okay, it's fine. It's other work stuff. Quick Zhang. Is that Qi Xing? Is that Qi Xing it'd be called, eh? X is a Q is pronounced as C or something? Qi or Qi Xing? Yeah, that's right, Ian. I expect that. I watched your video on how you did them, you know, and it's I can understand the price. I really can, because I think the price isn't unreasonable for the amount of work you put into it, and the component cost as well, reference and things like that. So it's not surprising that the cost is what it is, and I think that's absolutely fine. The cost is the cost, you know. So yeah, you know, it's still tempting. I have to say, it's still tempting to get one from you, but so with the 343A sitting there. The need isn't so great for me now as it was before. Yeah, so niche, certainly true, yes. Yeah, okay, so I'm trying to figure out what sort of project I can do. I've got the bench set up here, right? I've got the bench for you sitting there. Just a little bit messy as it is. I've got a new camera. Dave did a little review on the Logitech C920 versus the C922. And I saw that, I thought, that's not a bad looking camera, it seems to work quite well. So I bought one. So I've got a C922 sitting above the bench now. So normally I'd use my cell phone to record my footage. And that's on a cell phone mounted above the bench. Or I'll put it on a tripod and get, you know, the other views of the bench and that sort of stuff, right? So what I've got now is I've got this new C922 camera, which is the first time it's been used, is showing my bench right now. That's now above the bench, and I've got set up a little webcam above my computer, which is a little USB webcam which I plugged in for this view, so you can see it for the live streaming. So, you know, it's all new, and it's hopefully it looks okay. I mean, I haven't got any accessory lighting on. This is purely light for the windows. If I turn the lighting on, it might help a little bit, but yeah, I suppose it does slightly. But you know, it is what it is. But I've got a window over there, so that's purely natural light coming in right now. So it's a few things I'm playing around with. I'm actually purchased a second one of those cameras, so I'm going to have two of those C92s set up. One directly above the bench, and one for a different angle view. So I'm looking at doing, instead of recording my footage in future from the cell phone, I want to try and do it on the computer instead, and just to have different camera angles and stuff like that. My reviews, like a bit like I'm doing now. So that's my plan in future. That's all new. No electronics live stream would be complete without blowing up an electrolytic capacitor. Yeah. Ironically, it actually crossed my mind earlier too, because one of the things I was actually going to do a live stream of my capacitance leakage tester project. Right, I'm going to build a little capacitance leakage tester. I've mentioned this a few times in the videos. I'm getting various bits together for trying different options out for different ways of doing it, and I thought, well, I could set that up on the bench and put some kind of resemblance of a leakage tester together and turn it up and see what happens to the cap and see if it goes bang. So it's funny you mention that, Mike, because that actually crossed my mind to do that as part of the live stream. Yeah. Anyway, I thought I'd just have a chat right now. Just catch up with people a little bit and touch base, as it were, because I don't get to do this live stream very often. It's very rare. The last time I did a live stream was when my house was flooding, when I was out in the field in the rain with my cell phone. So not quite the same. Hi Brian, how's it going? So yeah, I'm tempted to do a little project on the bench. I mean, a setup. It's tempting, eh? What could I do? The thing is, part of the problem with the capacitance leakage tester, I've got a couple of bits I'm still missing, really. Now, I don't like to have a mains live coming straight onto the bench and without any kind of isolation whatsoever, right? I don't have a 240 volt isolation transformer, like a small one, like I'm getting a small one like that, so I can use it in the project. I'll have to do like 2 transformers back to back, something like that, which I've been playing around with. But I've been finding that if I'm dropping the voltage down too low and then bring it back up again with another transformer, it's putting a lot of stress on them. They're heating up. At least the primary one is. So I actually need to have probably a lower step down voltage, probably 240 down to 110 or something like that, because 240 volts here, and then go back up to 240 again, or something along that region. So I've got an isolation step at least in there. Currently, I want to have about 400 volts testing voltage on the caps. So that's what I want to try and achieve on it. But I mean, I can just do like a voltage doubler and then go DC, which will give me like 500 volts or so, or close to it, which would be perfectly adequate. It's absolutely fine. But I don't want to run straight off the mains. I want to be isolated through some transformers first to give a little bit of protection there, a bit of current limiting, that kind of thing. If something goes wrong, you don't want to go right through. You got all that potential short circuit current coming through from the mains. So sure, I'll confuse it, but that is not perfect either, so I want to have some isolation there. So that's what put me off doing the live stream today. I think, well, I could do that now and just play around with that setup a little bit and do that, but I don't like live 240 volts straight into the mains on my bench if I can avoid it. What's that, Mike? Ozzy, he's posted a cap tester today. I haven't seen that yet. I have to go and have a look later on. Low voltage, but it's more accurate than a 600 volt one. Okay. Uses low power. Awesome. I'll definitely have to go and check that out. The reason I want to use a high voltage is because I want to check breakdown voltages. Now you can get an idea from resistances and ESR and stuff like that. You can get an idea. But to know if a capacitor is truly breaking down, sometimes you need to better test it right up to its voltage rating to see if it's got an issue. Not just capacitors. Now the other thing is, when I was doing the fluke, I had an issue with a leaky transistor on there. The transistor was leaking under high voltage, and I couldn't detect it very easily, which made it a bit hard to find. But logic said it had to be that part, so I ended up replacing it, and that fixed the problem. But I'm calling it a capacitance leakage tester, but really it's going to be a voltage, a power supply really, which measures current. So load current will be an indicator on there with a variable voltage input. So you can, if you want to strap it across the transistor and check the breakdown, you can do that. That's the plan, right? I've been thinking about this for a couple of months now, probably, properly, and and I actually want to try and get it done this weekend. I do want to do it. I've got a few days off. I've got today off work, tomorrow off work, and I've got obviously the weekend. So I've got 4 days. Well, I had 4 days. What days are today? Thursday. Yeah, I had 5 days off because yesterday was a holiday. That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry. So I've got 4 days. So I could sit down and play around with this. I've got some boxes I can mount it into and that sort of thing. Am I radio ham? No, I'm not ham. I've been on. I've used. I suppose you could say I started using CB radio when I was about 13, 12, 13. I think I started using CB, and when I was 13, I started working on CBs and I started repairing them and modifying them, mostly playing around, just trying to figure out how they work, and broke a lot. And did some horrendous work, and I did some modifications for people, and I look at it now and think, oh my god, those were appalling, what I used to do. Really messy. But so since the age of 13, I'm basically playing with CB radios and doing repair work. Not to the same extent as, say, like Mike, where he sees a lot more radios than I do. Radio work in this country has been dropping off quite a lot. I don't do much now. It tends to be like fits and spurts. There might be nothing for 6 to 9 months. I won't get a single radio. Then suddenly in a period of a month I'll get 6 or 7. So it's quite interesting the way that happens. But I do fix some things on that. So, but I'm not a ham. I don't actually use CB anymore. I don't even have antenna up or anything. I've got no setups. I only have bench setups. I just repair them and modify them, that sort of thing. Mostly repairs these days, but that's good. I don't mind doing that. Quite enjoy it. Like a bit of troubleshooting work, as is evident by my videos. Hi Rob, how's it going? So yeah, I'm going to check out Mr. Carlson's video and go and check out what he's done there with that tester, because it might give me some ideas for mine as well. Anything I want to add to mine, or maybe I don't know, change the configuration I'm thinking of. Because I've got 2 ways of doing it. I can do it's a really simple analog ammeter, which I've already purchased them. So I probably am going to be using analog meters, because I do like analog for doing, when you're looking at fast moving things rather than digital. I just prefer analog. I just prefer it. They don't react as quickly in a way, because they got like a buffered effect, because they got to move, they got to build up magnetism in the coil and that sort of stuff. So they're not. You can see fast moving stuff on a digital as well as an analog. You can see both. But I just like the look of an analog sometimes for those kinds of things. So you have just a voltage coming through the capacitor with a series ammeter, which tells you how much current the capacitor is using, or whatever the thing is that you're testing at the time for that voltage breakdown. So if it breaks down, then obviously the amperage will go up. And you used to have a series resistor, and so that way it creates a current limiter, and it's all pretty simple. Oh yeah, Mike. Yeah. I actually had a guy from Australia contact me about doing a HR2510. And what I don't like about doing overseas work is that they might send a radio to me, and I'll do the work. And if something happens to it, either on the way to me or on the way back, that's a concern. I don't want it to get lost in postage, because that would be horrendous. Someone sends me a radio and it doesn't turn up. It's just bad. Or that's the risk. I don't like that. If it came from overseas, it's a risk. Analog from China, yeah. They probably are from China. They probably are, actually. I got them from JCar Electronics, which is a local electronics store in New Zealand. They're also in Australia. They've basically replaced Dick Smiths, who have gone in New Zealand. They got over electronic stuff years ago. They actually started going to consumer electronics, TVs and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, so that's one method of doing it, just a nice simple analog meter. The other method, which I was originally thinking of, was using an Arduino with an LCD display, which will display the current voltage using the voltage divider network. So it will scale that down, and then you can convert it within the Arduino to give you an actual voltage reading, so that you can see the voltage being applied to the device under test. And you can also then feed in a voltage divider from, well, probably through an op amp, from the series resistor. So the series resistor will act like a current shunt, and then you can measure the voltage drop across that using an op amp, which is then a multiplier, so times 10 or times 100 or something like that, which can scale it up enough for the Arduino to see a large voltage range, and then give you a current reading as well. So that is the other way of thinking. So I'm probably going to do the simple way first and then do the Arduino one later on, maybe. Depends how I feel about it. That's what insurance is for. Yeah, but it's a hassle, you know. It's after we're done. Okay, catch you later, Mike. Yeah, so anyway, that's where I'm looking at right now. So those little projects like that. So that will be something I'll do a video on. So I was really tempted to do it right now on the bench. Very tempted indeed. But I don't like working at T41 mains, as I said. You know, not straight off the mains. Like, I like to have some isolation. I do have the isolation transformer here, which I got recently in a Mailbag, which is obviously mains isolation, but it doesn't really limit the current that much. I don't want to, you know, prevent that from happening. So I also got a Variac sitting up there too, which I can also use. So I've got a few options there, but anyway. Anyone else got any questions for me right now? Since the chat's fairly quiet. Just wait for anyone to answer. I'll be waffling a lot, haven't I? 26 minutes of me waffling. Oh yeah, bloody. I've got that Keysight scope coming soon. That'd be good. What was one of the great fuse? What do you mean by the great fuse? Oh, was that the one with the great fuse? You mean that big? Yeah, that's right. Sorry. The isolation transformer's big orange box, and it had this big ceramic fuse in there. That's just an old style fuse from, I don't know, the 50s or 60s or something like that. I don't know exactly when they originated. So yeah, that actually needs to be replaced with a modern circuit breaker type thing, just because it's better, you know. You don't have to replace a fuse while something goes wrong. Yeah, that's right, Rob. Yeah, I've got you now. So yeah, I haven't replaced that yet. I need to actually buy one of those little circuit breakers for it, so I can put that in there. Not a big deal, just plug straight in. You just take the fuse out and plug it in. They're only cheap. I think about $5, something like that. It's not much at all for one of those. So what was I saying? I've forgotten now. Oh yeah, the Keysight scope. Have I finished my external camera system? No, I haven't. Well, I've already got security cameras in place. I've got them everywhere, basically. I've already got analog system in place. But as you've mentioned, Brian, I've played with some IP cameras, and I think I've got three cameras now. 3 IP cameras, and the IP camera DVR. So I do have those there. I just haven't set them up yet. When the house has been gutted, well, whilst the house was gutted, I've put some Ethernet cabling in some of the walls, so I can actually run networks through the place as well, which will help setting up the cameras. So hi Rob, yeah. So the house is coming along slowly. It's yes, I did cover it before. I did get asked previously. The painters are in there now, painting it. Then we've got to get the floors put in. I've got to get a new sliding door put in because the builders broke that, and then I can start buying things and getting back into the house, like washing machine and beds, that sort of thing. So we can get back in there again. So it shouldn't be too much longer. You know, within a month. We should be back in within a month at least. Maybe a couple of weeks. It depends on how things go. The ranch slider is probably another week away because it's being custom made. So that's a bit of a hold up as well, because you can't do the floors in the area until the ranch slider's in, because otherwise the floor's going to get wet and it's, you know, not good. So yeah, the Keysight scope. So something you may have seen or may not have seen, that I was one of the runners up at the Keysight Scope Month giveaway for their Test to Impress. I did a little video about my channel, and they liked it, and they gave me one of the runners up positions, so which is great. So that scope was on their way. I think in a couple of weeks' time. I had to sort some paperwork out and had some issues getting to them, some kind of communication issues, trying to send them files. I couldn't get the files for some reason. So even using Dropbox, things like that, just weren't getting them. I don't know what the hell's going on there. Really weird. Took a few weeks to get that sorted out. So hopefully in about mid-May or so, the Keysight scope will be being sent, and so that'll be on my bench next to my Siglet one. So obviously I'll be doing some stuff on that. So that'd be quite cool, having another scope. That's brilliant that I won that. It's awesome. I was very pleased, obviously. So yeah, I mean, obviously my bench is a bit bare right now because I've been the temporary bench and things like that. It's been a bit hard to work with things that I've had to turn down radio work, actually. Talk about CV stuff. I've had to turn some of it down recently because I just haven't had the gear set up. Although that said, you can see in the corner there on the bench I've got the IF signal generator sitting there, but I don't have any. I've got no RF meters there. I don't have dummy loads, signal generator. Well, I've got a signal generator there, but that's not one I normally use. I want to use my Marconi one. Spectrum analyzer's not set up. All those kinds of bits of gear. More microphones and little bits and pieces like that. Modulation meter. It's all put away. So I can't do any radio. I think I had about 4 inquiries in a period of a week about doing radio work, but I'm just not set up for it, and it's not a big enough space for me to set it all up either. Some of it's attached in the house on the wall and the shelving. It's all set up on there already. I don't want to dismantle that and then bring it in. You know, those because they're high up on the wall, so that's all stayed intact. But so it's a bit of a pain having to wait this long for it to actually be usable again. It's been nearly 4 months now. So what's that, Brian? We've just got some lasers and receivers to detect animal movements in the garden. Oh, okay, interesting. Lasers, eh? Interesting. Because you can get infrared, like door beam receiver, sender receiver units, which are alright. I've played around with those years ago for various things. They work okay, but not other big distances. Obviously, lasers would be better for that. Be interesting to see how it goes with weather, like rain, that kind of thing. See if it affects it or not. It may cause problems, but it may not. It might be fine. Humidity's not been too bad. There's no signs of rusting or anything, which is good. It dried out fairly quickly, being on a raised floor because it's on piles. So it's a big wooden post that the whole house stands on. So it's able to drain away quite quickly through the floor. So obviously the carpets were soggy and that kind of thing, so they held a lot of moisture for a while. They were only wet for a week or so before they started to dry out as well. By the time the builder started, the whole house had dried out, you know, everything. So yeah. Yeah, okay, so I should be looking at projects, shouldn't I? I should do something, you know. I'm doing a live stream instead of sitting here chatting, shouldn't I? Should do something. Apparently I'm dropping frames. I'm dropping a lot of frames apparently. That's not good, is it? According to, I'm using OBS. So that's showing lots of dropped frames, which is concerning. Hopefully it's not too bad. YouTube seems to think it's still alright, but OBS is complaining about it. If it's too bad, I might reduce the quality. Oh no, YouTube's playing up now too. Awesome. Why is that playing up? I hope I'm still on. Am I still on? Hopefully I am. But I think I'll cut it here anyway, and I'll go and play around with I'll go play around with some stuff and maybe do some more live stream once I've got something set up. So watch out for me doing something later on. Catch you later.